Rex, when you saw it live, what was your reaction?
Well, I was totally embarrassed by it. And to me, I'm just saying this. If I was a coach, I would have run down there, immediately grabbed Myles Garrett and just said, hey, look, man, if you ever want to play for me, I mean, this is unacceptable. I mean, I would have used a hell of a lot more, different words than that.
I know that.
And would have grabbed him and say, look, number one, I mean, I'm an NFL lifer. My whole family's NFL from jump, 50 years of it. And I've never seen anything like it on this field. But to me, I would have made sure he knew that hell no. And look, I love physical football. Mm-hmm. There's no question about it. But this thing right here, there's nothing physical about it. This is an assault. This is ridiculous. And to me, I used to tell my players all the time, said, I don't believe in fighting. I said, if I want a fighter, I'll go to a gym and grab some boxer or whatever. So you want to impress me? You do it with your pads and you be physical. Yeah. This is one of the finest players in the league. I voted him the Defensive Player of the Year at the start of the year. But this right here, this would have been ridiculous. And look, he might have hit me in the head with a helmet. I have no idea. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is not acceptable. I don't care who he is, how good he is.
Yes.
And for him to be appealing this, what? Are you out of your mind? Just go do what the league tells you to do.
Speaking of the appeal, you heard Mort say that former players are going to hear that appeal. And we all, as former players, know almost, unwritten rule, whatever you want to call it, the helmet comes off in an altercation. It's like, whoa. You sort of freeze about, okay, you got the helmet, man, chill, cooler heads need to prevail now. But taking it to the next level, to swinging that is something that is new to me, something, have you seen it before? I mean, sure, it's been done in the past before, but still, that little swing right there, to have someone connect on that, if it was a different part of the helmet, it could have been much more serious.
Yeah, and you talk about once that helmet comes off, both guys, Mason Rudolph and Myles Garrett, are so lucky. Like, I don't care what fine comes down, what suspension comes down. You are so lucky that nobody died. I mean, we saw Mason Rudolph take a clean hit from Earl Thomas this year, and he was lights out, cold, knocked out. They had to, screwdriver the face mask off of his helmet, and that was a clean hit. So for Mason Rudolph and Myles Garrett, no matter how bad you feel about what happens, you should be thankful that Mason Rudolph wasn't killed on that field. And for every player on that field, that's something that you would never forget. That would change everything. And so I understand it.
We've all been there. I've been there before. But the one thing as a coach, as a player, we have to be able to control our emotions. And just being able to look at that, Myles Garrett emotions did get the best of him, but Rex, Coach, like you said, that's unacceptable. Teddy, once the helmet comes off, everything's supposed to halt, supposed to stop, and then we move on from there. But, let me add this by saying, he was just talking about the players going to be fined for running on the field. I didn't see really one player running out there full speed. I've seen players from both sides of the bench running out there because they seen how bad it was getting out there. So I know there's going to be a lot of fines out there, and hopefully the National Football League does take into consideration about the guys running out there trying to resolve the matter. I didn't see nobody running off the bench full speed running a 4.240 over there to it, so I hope they take that into consideration.
Let's not forget about what happened earlier in this game. The helmet-to-helmet hits by the Cleveland Brown players. I don't know. I don't want to say the word bounty or anything like that, but this was a violent game, not in today's modern NFL. And Myles Garrett, this behavior should have been squashed after he swung at Delanie Walker earlier in the year. I mean, I want to know, does Freddie Kitchens have control of the team? He talked about having uncomfortable conversations with his players when he has to. Now, if you have them, okay, you're supposed to have them. Hopefully he is. But if he is, they're not impactful, because this behavior is still happening with his players. Not only the Tennessee Titans when he swung at Delanie Walker, when Myles Garrett had multiple roughing the passer penalties versus the New York Jets. This is a pattern of behavior. And then the other players also helmet-to-helmet hits. Kitchens, get control of your team.
But in fairness, I think what you heard from Baker Mayfield, from Odell Beckham Jr., and from Jarvis Landry immediately after the game was, the bond of like being a player in the NFL, you mentioned being an NFL lifer, is stronger than the jersey that you're wearing, like the health and safety. And so a credit, from my perspective, a credit to OBJ, Jarvis Landry, and Baker Mayfield immediately after the game saying, hey, this is just unacceptable.
And those are two tough guys right there. And they know the way the game's meant to be played. Respect the game. And that's it. Respect the game.
Look, after the fact, Myles Garrett certainly seemed contrite, apologetic. This is something that's going to stay with him no matter what happens in his career going forward. He is always going to be remembered for this. This doesn't make him an evil guy, but it is yet another reminder to me that losing control of your emotions, even in the heat of the moment, not only can mess up your own life, it could end the life of another person. And it's, at least from my perspective, good to see the NFL showing that they take this very seriously, as of course all the players do also.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.